I am an electrophysiologist at Centre Cardiologie du Nord, very near from Paris. I will explain to you why the most of patients are at gastroenterology. I have no conflict of interest to declare. Patients eligible for left atrial occlusion are patients with persistent or recurrent gastrointestinal bleeding despite appropriate therapy of the origin of bleeding, or persistent or recurrent gastrointestinal bleeding of obscure origin, or recurrent bleeding from intestinal angiodysplasia. Major bleeding can occur under VKA therapy. In an Italian registry, patients treated with VKA have major bleeding around 70.6% per year with a mean equilibrated INR at 2.8. Gastrointestinal bleeding represents 30% of major bleeding. The risk of death with gastrointestinal bleeding is 11% under VKA and 7% under NOACs. The incidence of gastrointestinal bleeding is 0.7 or to 0.4% events per 100 per year. New starters of VKA have more risk of bleeding. What about NOACs? As you know, intracranial hemorrhage was uniformly reduced by NOACs, with a median relative risk reduction of about 60%. But admission for gastrointestinal bleeding is more frequent for NOACs as compared to VKA patients. The effect of gastrointestinal bleeding varied by NOAC compared to VKAs. Rivaroxaban, on the higher dose of dabigatran and edoxaban, increased this risk. Apixaban on the lower dose of dabigatran produces similar risk, and the lower dose of edoxaban reduces the risk of bleeding. What is the mechanism of gastrointestinal bleeding? When a blood vessel is disrupted, contact tissue factor activates coagulations. VKA therapy induces lower concentration of vitamin K-dependent factors. The effect is clamping down thrombin generation following tissue injury. NOACs are stoichiometric inhibitors that selectively target the individual coagulation proteins. It might be less effective than VKA, as blocking the high local concentration of factor 10 activated or 2 activated in response to intense tissue factor-mediated coagulation. Tissue factor released as a result of tissue damage. It activates factor 7 to 7 activated, which results in the activation of factor 10 to 10 activated, and finally, the generation of active thrombin. In case of warfarin, it reduces the functional levels of coagulation factors. This reduces the rate of thrombin generation upon activation by tissue factor. In case of NOACs, in this example for dabigatran, these are direct inhibitors of either factor 10 activated or thrombin. The annual incidence of upper gastrointestinal bleeding is 80 per 100,000 inhabitants. Lower bleeding occurs at 44 for 100,000 inhabitants, and unspecified 56 per 100,000 inhabitants. It represents 20,000 deaths annually in the United States. When patients are taking oral anticoagulation therapy, it increases mortality, higher level of transfusion, and longer hospitalization. If antiaggregants are associated, the bleeding is higher. The risk of bleeding is higher. What are the etiology of gastrointestinal bleeding? The most frequent etiology for upper gastrointestinal bleeding are ulcers, about 25%. In case of lower gastrointestinal bleeding, diverticulosis are identified in 15%, but 31% are unspecified gastrointestinal bleeding. This is a schematic investigations when a gastrointestinal bleeding is occurring. When the endoscopic exploration is negative, it's a case of obscure gastrointestinal bleeding. How to explore this obscure gastrointestinal bleeding? You can perform video endoscopy, an enteroscopy. The most frequent diagnosis is angiodysplasia, a CT enterography, or a CT angiography, which can identifying the source of active bleeding before angiography and selective embolization of the bleeding vessel. The most frequent etiology of obscure gastrointestinal bleeding is angiodysplasia, about 40%. In case of angiodysplasia, you have some factors predicting recurrence of bleeding from this. One of these factors is the over-anticoagulation. The therapy with argon coagulation is usually efficient to prevent the recurrence of bleeding. In our center, we performed 70 occlusions. All patients were high-risk patients with definitive contraindications to anticoagulation therapy. 47% of the indication was gastrointestinal bleeding. Angiodysplasia was the most frequent indication in case of gastrointestinal bleeding. Other ones were hemorrhagic ulceration or angioma. In conclusion, gastrointestinal bleeding is a leading cause of bleeding. With NOACs, it lowers overall risk of bleeding than warfarin, but some are associated with an increased risk of gastrointestinal bleeding. Patients with gastrointestinal bleeding may be considered for left appendage occlusion after multidisciplinary evaluation and definitive contraindication to long-term anticoagulation therapy or high-risk recurrence of bleeding. Thank you for your attention.